Hello, this video presentation will show you how to submit a multi-sector general permit, or MSGP, Notice of Intent and a Notice of Intent Renewal application in STEERS. The renewal application opens on August 14th, 2026 and closes on November 12th, 2026. If you are filling out a no exposure certification, you may use this video as a guide, but please be aware some of the options may not be the same. To begin, navigate to the TCEQ homepage. The TCEQ homepage can be found at www.tceq.texas.gov. Under How Do I, please select Access STEERS, which is highlighted here with a red box. Throughout the rest of this video, there will be red boxes highlighting the information discussed. After you click on the e-permitting STEERS, you will be taken to the STEERS homepage. Log into your STEERS account using your ER account number and password. If you have not created a STEERS account, under the STEERS login, it states, I need. Below that, click to create a new account. If you need help creating an account, you can follow the TCEQ YouTube video, How to Set Up an Account in STEERS, or you can find instructions in Regulatory Guidance 531A titled A Guide to Creating an Account in STEERS. If you previously had a STEERS account and it's been archived, email the STEERS help desk at steers@tceq.texas.gov or call the STEERS helpline at 512-239-6925 to have your account reactivated. After you have logged into your STEERS account, you will need to designate Stormwater General Permits as your program area under the Select ePermits program area at the bottom. If you already have Stormwater General Permits designated as your program area, you can skip ahead in the video to when we begin to fill out the application. To set Stormwater General Permits as your program area, on the STEERS homepage in the top center portion of the screen, select My Account. In the upper right-hand corner above the STEERS logo, there is a countdown timer. Please be aware of the time. If you don't progress to the next screen by the time the timer reaches 0, STEERS will log you off. You will have to re-log in to finish the application. This screen shows your account summary. Below the account summary, you'll see the STEERS Access section. In this section, there is a drop-down menu. After you click the drop-down menu, a list of program areas will appear. Select Stormwater General Permits, then select Go. On this screen, you will need to select your access type. From the drop-down next to Access Type, you will notice the different access types and the functions allowed by each type. In order to select Stormwater Sign as your access type, you must meet Signatory Authority, which is explained in Rule 30, Texas Administrative Code, Chapter 305.44. Select the appropriate access type, then answer the remaining questions on this page. Then select Save Changes. After selecting Save Changes, if all the information entered was correct, a message will appear in red at the top of the page stating, Your EPR SW access has been updated. You can make additional changes or press Cancel to return to account information. The program status has been updated, however the account is in probationary status. Next, you will need to sign a STEERS Participation Agreement, or SPA. At the top of the page, there are two options for SPA. The e-sign SPA can be used if the user utilizes LexisNexis or has a valid Class C Texas driver's license. If the applicant is not able to use LexisNexis or does not have a valid Texas driver's license, or has a valid Texas driver's license but not a Class C license, then the paper SPA can be used. For this account setup, we will use e-sign SPA. Select e-sign SPA in the top right corner of the screen. On the e-sign page, the applicant will verify the account information is correct. The applicant will then read the conditions of using the STEERS account on the rest of the page. There are two identity proofing services the applicant can sign electronically with: LexisNexis or a Class C Texas driver's license. The applicant will select the identity proofing service of their choice and fill out the corresponding information. At the bottom of the e-sign page, the applicant will sign electronically using personal information. The applicant will need to read and check both boxes on the statements at the bottom, then select e-sign SPA. If the applicant chose the Class C Texas driver's license identity verification method, your screen should look like this. The applicant will input the corresponding information. The applicant will need to read and check both boxes for the statements on the bottom, then select e-sign SPA. If the applicant chose the LexisNexis identity verification method, your screen should look like this. The applicant will input the corresponding information. The applicant will need to read and check both boxes for the statements on the bottom, then select e-sign SPA. If the information is correct, after signing the SPA, a message will come up saying this page confirms the submittal of your electronically signed STEERS participation agreement to the TCEQ. Select STEERS Home in the upper right-hand corner of the page to begin filling out the application. Select Stormwater General Permits found in the middle of the page.
To begin a new application, select the Fill Out button on the left side of the screen. On this screen, you will select an application type under the heading Multi-Sector General Permit. For the Renewal option, please select Renew an Existing Industrial Notice of Intent application. For a normal Notice of Intent, create an Industrial Notice of Intent application. Once you have selected your application type, please click Next at the bottom. Here, you will need to type in your permit number or your regulated entity number, also known as your RN. If you do not know this information, it can be found on your current permit or on the TCEQ Central Registry database. If you need further assistance in locating the permit number or RN number, please contact the Small Business and Local Government Assistance. Once the permit number or RN number is entered, you may click Search. This page shows that the application has been created. There will be an application reference number and password, which can be used to give another STEERS user access to this application. This can be used when a secondary user needs to sign the application that the first user filled out. If needed, write down the application reference number and password. When completed, click Next. Here, you will begin filling out the application. On the left side of the screen is the task list for this application. You can see which steps of the application have been completed. Tasks shown as completed will be shown as done. Steps that will need to be filled out will be shown as to do. You must follow the order of the task list, and you will not be able to move on to the next task until the previous task is listed as done. Once a task list is listed as done, your work for that task is saved. The first page of the application is the site information page. If you already have a regulated entity number, you can fill out option 1. If you do not have a regulated entity number, you can scroll down and fill out option 3. For the customer's convenience, any questions with a red asterisk next to it must be answered in order to move on to the next screen. You will see these red asterisks throughout the application. Once the information has been entered, select Next at the bottom of the screen. This screen will take you to the site information page where you will begin to enter the information. You can click the Copy RE information to automatically apply the previous information. For latitude and longitude coordinates, these must be entered as DMS format, degrees, minutes, seconds. Enter the address in Google Maps, the right click of the pen for DMS formatting to appear. The question icons shown are linked to STEERS Help. The customer can select the question mark icon and a new window will open providing help text to explain what information the STEERS system is requesting. These icons will appear throughout the application process. While filling out the application, errors will come up in text. Either at the top of the screen or next to the missed question, failing to fill out a required question, or the information has a validation error, these areas will come up. You can either enter the required asterisk information or click the Copy RE information, then select Next Save. This is the Customer Applicant Information page and the responsible authority contact for the customer applicant information. Choose either option 1, 2, or 3. Continue filling out all the required asterisks. For the last asterisk question on this page, yes must be selected. This is to certify that you are legally able to do business in the state of Texas. Again, for the responsible authority contact information, fill out all the required asterisks. For title, this is the title you hold, owner, accountant, president, or whatever applicable official title you are using for this application. Please continue filling out the required asterisks. This is the billing contact portion. Please continue filling out the required asterisks. A lot of the required information will be a repeat question. Please continue with the required sections. The same will apply with this screen, the application contact page.
For this section, please fill out the information for the individual who will serve as the DMR contact for your site. This will usually be the person responsible for submitting the discharge monitoring report forms. Continue with the remaining required questions. In this section, you will be asked questions about your facility. Please answer the questions 1 through 16. You'll need to know the sector that applies to your facility. If you are renewing, the sector should automatically populate. Please ensure it is correct. If this is your initial application, you'll need to determine your facility's sector. You may do this by using your Standard Industrial Classification or SIC code in the TCEQ document, SIC codes subject to TPDES Multi-Sector General Permit located on the TCEQ website. For locating this document, please utilize the search bar at the top right of the TCEQ webpage or contact a compliance assistant specialist. Please continue through the remaining questions. Some of these, depending on how you answer, will pop up an additional box. Please go through each one carefully, and if you have any questions, contact the SBLGA hotline. In this next section, you will review your outfalls. If the information is correct, you can select Next Save. If this is your initial application, or you need to add a new outfall, you'll need to indicate how many outfalls you have in the box at the top next to Please enter total number of outfall question sets. Once you click Update Total, STEERS will list your outfalls below with questions for each outfall. Please answer all of the questions. For questions number 4 and 5, you'll need to utilize the Surface Water Quality Viewer. You will need to open the Surface Water Quality Viewer on the TCEQ page by going to tceq.texas.gov/GIS/segments-viewer, then click on the blue Surface Water Quality Viewer box. Once you click on the Surface Water Quality Viewer, a pop-up box will appear. To begin, you'll need to read the statement and click the checkbox next to I agree to the above terms and conditions. Now, you may go up to the search bar at the top left and enter the site address and click Search. Once the address of the site appears on the map, you will zoom in and out until you find the segmented body water number, as seen in this example picture. Write the segmented number down. Remember, this is the water body your stormwater discharge will eventually reach. To answer number 4 and 5, select the segmented water body that you have determined your stormwater will be discharged to. A table will appear. Locate the segment name column and the water body's name will be listed. For question number 4, you will type in the name of the first water body to receive the discharge. For question number 5, You will type the number in the space or utilize the drop-down menu to locate your segment number. Once located, select it and it will display within that drop-down menu. For questions number 6, from the drop-down menu, you will select yes or no, based on if the water segment was listed as impaired. If your water segment is impaired, after you select yes, question 6.1 will appear. If applicable, after determining your pollutant of concern, you will then locate it in the available table of question 6.1. Once selected, it will be highlighted blue. I am using bacteria in freshwater as an example. Next, utilize the top arrow key in between the tables to move it to your selected table. If you add a pollutant of concern accidentally, simply select the incorrect one and utilize the left pointing arrow to move it back. Now your application is ready to be signed. Locate the application in the table. To the far right, you will see that the application is ready to sign. Click the empty box below the Select column header. This will turn the application blue. Click the Sign button at the bottom of the page.
Once you have finished reading and reviewing the statement, please check both boxes and apply electronic signature at the bottom of the screen. Click the Pay reference box, then click Next. Review the page, click Next. Read each step carefully. Note, click Go to ePay one time and one time only. Once ePay has been clicked, this is not the last step. After you have paid, be sure to submit your application. Click Checkout. Fill out all the information correctly, then click OK. This is your transaction information sheet. Scroll down and select Make a Payment. After selecting Make a Payment, you will be redirected to the card payment information page. Fill out all the information *, select the I am human checkbox, then click Submit. Your transaction is now completed from ePay. Scroll to the bottom. It may take up to 3 business days for electronic payment to be processed and be reflected in the TCEQ ePay system. At the bottom of the Transaction Complete page, you will notice the Return to STEERS button. You are not finished until you click Return to STEERS. Print this receipt for your records. Click the Submit reference dot, then click Next. Click the Submit button. Do not leave this page until the processing is complete. Congratulations! You have completed your Multi-Sector General Permit Notice of Intent in STEERS.